It's an epidemic that's destroying the very fabric of our society. Must get fatherhood right.
When I come home and I see my 2-year-old son run into the garage door because he heard the driveway alarm go off, that's a
super
that's
cute.
a good sign.
All right, boys, I'm dealing with this right here. Now, this person said this to me, and I felt like saying or doing this. What do you think about that?
You're obviously a very involved parent. So is your wife. What do you think there are a lot of fatherless kids out there right now, today. Even the ones that do have a father, a lot of those fathers are not present. You see it everywhere you go today. You see young men with zero confidence.
Yeah.
They sit there and they look at their shoes. They can't talk to you. They can't make eye contact, and we'd talked about feminism earlier and the woke agenda a little bit, and that's destroying masculinity. But I think that the biggest assault on masculinity is the absence of the father in homes.
Oh, hardcore. No close second to that. Most kids in America are not growing up with a father in the home. The majority. Holy smokes. So, big clap just for the dads that show up, that don't leave. That's awesome. I also want to recognize some dads didn't leave. They were chased out as well. So both are true.
Yeah.
What I don't want to do is buy into that cultural dynamic where the guy is always at fault and the girl did great and she's the victim. I'm like, no, some women are so insufferably impossible to live with, and you were the reason he left. Usually a marriage falls apart because it takes two to tango. Both of you had your own junk, and that sucks. And so I'm not judging. I'm sympathetic to that, but just recognize usually two to tango kind of thing. So, man, I couldn't agree more that fatherlessness it's an epidemic that's destroying the very fabric of our society. Must get fatherhood right. Now, I wouldn't immediately said, hey, you're a good dad. And I'm like, I hope so. I really hope so. I think there's some stuff that I am doing that's very countercultural, and I think I'm doing some of these things well. I can feel it. I know these are good variables. There's other stuff of like, I don't know. I hope so. I hate how I'm so tired and distracted and doing so much that I'm always thinking of like, man, I should really take my kids camping or something. I haven't taken them camping in a long time. Now I'm doing these other things. I just took them to Italy and Austria and Switzerland, and we were together for 2 weeks doing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I did that. But I think about all the other stuff of like the day in and day out stuff. I'll do a little bit of like kids want to play airsoft and Nerf, and maybe I say no 9 times for every one I say yes. I'm like, man, that sucks. Anyway, I'm just venting my own. I could be a lot better. I'm just worn out. And I've got to figure out a good time where I can have some, daddy time with them and make it count. But the jury's out on how good of a dad I am. I've got a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. And when you meet them, you'd be like, oh, these are confident kids. You would marvel at their vocabulary. It's really quite striking. Their vocabularies are incredible because they've read more books than most college graduates. I guarantee you, my 9-year-old even, my 11-year-old's the big reader, but even my 9-year-old has read more books than most college graduates. I guarantee it. If you stacked up the books we've read just as a family, because I've been reading to my kids since 2 years old. We've read this many books, me to them. And so that's been a culture of them. I think I get a lot of compliments on my kids. So I think I'm doing some good stuff as a dad. But who knows? Maybe they're going to write a book when they're 24 on how actually dad sucked and I was doing such and such. Maybe I'm guilty of ills that I'm not even aware of, And so I don't know, more than patting myself on the back of the few things that I may be doing right, I'm hyper vigilant of, I hope I'm not sucking in ways that I can't perceive. So anyway, you thrust the moniker on me, and I'm just telling you why that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, I get it. I'm hard on myself too, being a dad. But, when I come home and I see my 2-year-old son run into the garage door because he heard the driveway alarm go off, that's a
super
that's
cute.
a good sign. And when I go to work, he's grabbing my pant leg, trying to get me to play with his new train or his cars or whatever. I mean, something's right. I'm doing something right.
Good job, bro.
I'm
That's
sure I'm
awesome.
doing all kinds of bad things and things that I can improve on, but something I'm doing is right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be getting excited. And I'm sure you're doing quite a few things right too, John.
Thanks.
But I hate to throw such a general question at you, but what are some of the most important things to you that you would like to pass on to your kids? Some attributes.
Oh, wow. All right. You went a different route than I thought. Great question. So I want them to be courageous and bold. I want them to be well-educated. I want them to know how to treat a woman. They practice on their mom, and so taking care. I want them to know how to resolve conflict. I want them to be leaders. I want them to be honest. I don't really care what they do for a living. I don't care as much. But I want them to live worthy. It's the manner in which they live. That's the stuff that I actually care about. And I realize the only possible way I can build that in them is to be it myself. You can teach what you know, but you can only replicate who you are. That's it. And so there's knowing that there's no what is it, supplement, there's no replacement for spending time with your children. You have to spend time with them. And if you spend time with them and we embody these values, they're going to see it, and it might just replicate and spread. So you'll replicate who you are, assuming you spend sufficient time with them. If you are that way and you spend time with them, it'll almost be impossible not to replicate those certain virtues in them. And so that's my plan. Be better personally and spend time. And I look for teachable moments as we laugh our way through the years and we cry through pains and we grit our teeth together as we set ourselves against different struggles. But we do it all shoulder to shoulder, and they do it as they see Dad do it too. But I'm not living a separate life that they'll one day learn about in my memoirs. They're watching me go through it now. So when I go through a struggle or something happens, I very well may bring the boys over. I'm like, all right, boys, I'm dealing with this right here. Now, this person said this to me, and I felt like saying or doing this. What do you think about that? What should I do? Okay. If I do that, and we'll war game out a little bit of that. We'll figure out that together. But I'm inviting them into our show. So we're very open with our kids about, here's the problems we're solving. Here's what I just did, and it was wrong. I raised my voice at your mother. Let me tell you why I shouldn't have done that and how I should have done that different. And so, they see me apologize when I do something stupid or when my wife does. And so I'm trying to, hey, here's some good stuff. Here's some bad stuff. Your dad is fatally flawed, and I'm on a journey, and I'm trying to get better. So we'll have grace together for each other. Here's my wins. Here's my losses.
Hey, everybody. I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.